But now Reach has taken a fourth of his own, and I'm a little bit curious about the placement of it there at the 10 o'clock. I don't know if that would be any easier to defend than the ones over toward the top right.
I would have to argue that they probably aren't. I think I think it's kind of a mistake actually, potentially, and that might actually be his undoing at some point. But it looks like we're about to see another large skirmish and some storms going down immediately all over the place. I mean, they're just damaged left and right, and I actually think that Anytime is in a less good position. He's being funneled back down that ramp, that bridge there, and it looks like he's going to be forced to retreat. I really do not like the angle that he was fighting at all.
Yeah, this is more storms all over the place. There were a lot of storms across the units crossing the bridges in that previous skirmish, and that, like I said earlier, just magnifies the damage. This is really going to depend on whether Reach is going to have enough units to maintain his position on Anytime's side of the map. If he's able to set up a strong forward position there, then he'll have a pretty easy time making forward progress. If he's going to be pushed back across these bridges, it's basically another large skirmish that's going to end in a draw, and it looks like that's what happened.
Yeah, which is incredible. I mean, honestly, it looked like for a while there during that altercation that Reach was going to come out victorious. In terms of just pure unit count, it looked like he was prevailing in that skirmish, and then just more storms came out. I mean, these guys are both bringing extremely, extremely high levels of high tempo play into this game. I'm very impressed with that. So.
Yep, and Reach storming some hold positioned units up the ramp there, but Anytime quick to do some dodging. Yeah, but now we're going to see a skirmish at one of the bases, and this is pretty critical. Is Reach going to be able to defend this fourth base he took, and how? And he's definitely going to lose some probes while he's getting his units into position there. In fact, it looks like he lost just about any and all of them that weren't pulled out, thanks to those storms as well.
Yeah,
and the Nexus is down.
That Nexus, yeah. Oh, that's a huge.
Yeah, so I think that expansion location was definitely a mistake from Reach there. Though Anytime's amassed a pretty large army pretty quickly. I don't know if Reach would have had all that much of an easy time holding it if it was at the 2 o'clock position. More storms all over these Dragoons, weakening everything.
Yeah, and it looks like, honestly, I don't know that Anytime's going to be able to hold that position. Yeah, it looks like he's going to fall back. And at this point, Reach really does need this expansion. After having lost the one that he just put up in that kind of dangerous position, it would be really a huge deal for him to go ahead and take out Anytime's. But I don't know that he has the presence on the field right now to be able to do that. It looks like he's actually retreating, and I think wisely so.
Yeah, it looks like Reach is also setting up a fifth base of his own at the 2 o'clock position, as well as rebuilding that fourth. Anytime is now securely on 5 bases, so I think Anytime's going to have the chance at least to just macro up a bigger army than Reach and try to basically push the game home. Though again, with the defensive emplacements that those bridges allow for, it's not going to be as easy as all that.
Yeah, indeed. And we have another humongous altercation going down. Storms everywhere, Archons all over the place. And it looks like, honestly, this is going to come down to unit reproduction. And with a stronger economy for Anytime, I think that the really big deal here is that Reach is going to have to put up pressure and keep it going. He's not in a position where he can just afford to trade units any longer, because at this point, the economic advantage is significant. And I just don't think that him trading armies is going to work anymore. He's really got to press an advantage and press it. Or not an advantage, but press into one of these expansions that Anytime is set up, or risk losing this.
Yeah, another option that Reach might have would be to pull a page out of Anytime's playbook from the earlier game and start going for some storm drops. It's going to be a little bit trickier now with cannons placed at all of the bases, but Reach's choices are basically to take out an expansion or to do an economic harassment to buy him some time to equalize, and at the moment, it doesn't really look like Reach is able to do either of those things, though he is at the bridges outside of Anytime's natural.
And rapidly pushing in. And in the meantime, he also managed to snipe with that DT. He took out that probe that was establishing an additional expansion for Anytime, which I thought was pretty...
That is definitely going to help. Any delay to Anytime's economy is going to be very helpful for Reach here. And
At
anytime,
the same time that anytime there's a DT up.
yeah, and Reach has actually possibly had a bit of an overkill response. He's basically pulled his entire army back from that forward position outside of Anytime's bridges, which might have been a good place to keep that army, keeping Anytime at least partially contained. Granted, like once Anytime is up to 5 bases, containment is not exactly a winning strategy, and that DT for Anytime is into Reach's base. It's attacking a random pylon, and I don't know if that's the best way to go about it. Now he's going for a pylon that's powering a couple of gateways, and if he manages to take that out, it's going to be really annoying for Reach in terms of unit reproduction.
Yeah, and I mean, and now it's taken out. I honestly feel as though that could have done a lot more damage than it did. I'm actually kind of surprised that Anytime didn't move him closer into maybe the middle line, or try to seek a little more high priority targets than the pylon.
And it might have just been a bit of a distraction for that speed lot raid.
Yeah. But at the same time, it looks like Reach is in the process of moving out again. His army is actually in the process of headed towards the main, and they're going to see another altercation right here in the middle of the map. It looks like headed towards that expansion. Lots of Archons on the field for Reach, and it looks like he is going to be able to press his advantage on into that expansion. Some storms going down left and right, but it looks like these Dragoons that Anytime has for defense are definitely not going to be enough for the pressure that Reach is trying to put on. In the meantime, it looks like we might see a counterattack from Anytime, but no, this expansion looks like it's going to fall. But yes, there is a counterattack. Speedlot's streaming into the expansion for Reach, and I really think that they're in a situation where they might be trading again.
And I think that unless Reach gets the expansion in the bottom left corner as well, this trade is going to favor Anytime. But Reach has had to play this aggressively, and I think he did very well on that attack. The storms were beautiful, again, from both players. Anytime also got a lot of really nice storms off on Reach's units moving through that choke point, and I think that has played a really large role in the way that this set of battles has turned out.
Yeah, indeed, and it honestly looks like Anytime managed to clean up Reach's forces in his base, which I did not anticipate. And at this point, it looks like that might be the end of this game. Since Anytime was able to resecure his expansion, whereas Reach was losing his and is already at an economic deficit. I just don't know how much longer he's going to be able to hold on when he's at a severe economic and macro disadvantage.
Yeah, absolutely. And Anytime isn't going to give Reach any time to recover or harass or anything. He's going straight on the offensive for Reach's bases at the upper right side of the map. And there's the GG from Reach.
Yeah, and there it is, GG. Yeah, I mean, it just like that last skirmish was really telling. I mean, for a moment there, it seemed like Reach was going to be able to maybe just miraculously move his way back into the game by taking that expansion. But really, Anytime just showing how important it is to secure those expansions, to secure that economic advantage. And really, it just started kicking in for him, and he just had too much presence on the ground for Reach to be able to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the other key points in that game was just the location that Reach chose for that for his third base. I'm
Definitely
still a bit confused as to why he chose to do that, and it didn't pay off for him putting the base in a more forward and less defensible position, because Anytime was just able to basically run around Reach's army and up the ramp into that base and just raise it to the ground with speedlots.
Yeah, the irony is palpable. The man-lots being able to do in the man-toss, you just would never have predicted it to go down quite that way. But after all, Anytime advances to 4-0 lifetime against Reach. It looks like that's going to be the story of that matchup for the rest of the.
Yeah, absolutely. GG. This concludes our cast of Game 1 of Day 4 of the eStars Heritage League. We're going to be moving on to Game 2, which is Boxer versus Toss Girl next. The next video is going to start off with about 8 minutes of preamble, so don't be surprised when you see that. Hope you've enjoyed watching. Image out.